the answers and then continue asking questions in for me and saying, specifically what you're not understanding. So the first thing, ladies and gentlemen, when we're trying to graph in vertex form, other than standard form, we just use those formulas, right? But Brandon, in vertex form, we can identify what the A, the X, and the H are. Okay? So the first thing that you might want to do in this case is help yourself just by identifying what the information is. So even before doing anything, you might want to say A equals -2, H equals -5, and K equals 0. And just identify what information you have and what it's around. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand what I did right there? No? Yes? All right. What are you? A is your coefficient of x minus h. So -2 is my number in front of my x, my parentheses. So that's -2.
So the h all in the middle?
H is always going to be your value that's inside of your function, inside of the parentheses. And it's always opposite, x opposite of h. So whatever you have, whatever value is inside there, it's going to be the opposite value. So if that's 5, your h is -5. K is always outside of your equation. You guys notice that I don't have any number outside, so I can write it as 0. Does that make better sense? OK. So to find the axis of symmetry, remember, guys, axis of symmetry was just your h. So x equals -5. Please remember it's a vertical line. Alex, if I'm talking, you can't be talking, because then you're just not going to be understanding the information. OK? So axis of symmetry is going to equal to -5. Does that make sense? You're just taking your h. That's all you're doing. I'm doing math. Shane? Over here. Now, the next thing is taking the vertex. All we do with the vertex is we're going to rewriting that as h comma k. -5, comma 0. And that's it. All you guys are doing is writing in your h and your k. OK? So I'll go over here, and I'll go to where x equals -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll make a nice little dotted line. Because that's, remember, x equals -5. That's my vertical line. So I just make a nice little dotted line. Then I go and find the vertex, which is -5, 0. So there's my vertex. Guys, have your homework away, off your desk. You're not allowed your homework on your desk. Does that make sense? Is everybody cool with this? Now we go back to our rules, and we look at and we say, all right, when a is less than 0, our graph opens down. When a is greater than 0, our graph opens up. So you guys see, in this case, my a is less than 0. It's negative. So my graph is going to open down. I don't know what the graph looks like, but I know it's going to open down. And you guys can see all of this stuff didn't take any math. It just takes of finding the information from the formula. Now, the next thing is we need to identify. Alex, could you move up here, please? Now, the next thing we need to do is identify what are the other points that we need to find for this. So basically, what we're going to do is, rather than, remember how I said like over 1, down 1, over 1, up 1, and so forth? Basically, now, that's not going to be the case because our a is going to provide a horizontal compression. So what we need to do is, again, go back to our table of values. And we want to choose 2 points to the right or to the left of my x-axis, or my axis symmetry at -5. So I'm going to pick 2 points, -4 and -3. And all I'm simply going to do is plug those values into my equation to find the y value, just like we did for standard form. So I'll take y equals -2 times -4 plus 5 squared. Well, -4 plus 5 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 times -2 is -2. So I plot the point. -4 goes down to -2. Then I do the next value. Y equals -2 times -3 plus 5 squared. -3 plus 5 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 times -2 is -8. So I go to -3. 1, 2, 3. And I go down to -8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 1/2 of my parabola. To find my other half, I'll go over 1 over 2, and I'll reflect each of those points over those two values. And that's it. Anybody have any questions?